Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 10th Commitments of Traders report of 2022. And as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before we jump to the review, just a brief reminder for those of you who are new to COT analysis. Here at COTBase.com, we offer a lot of educational material. These are not only in written format, but we have some very useful videos as well that will help you guide you through the analysis process and better understand how you can actually benefit from analyzing the commitments of traders data. Okay, back to the review, and starting off with our first market, platinum. Here we have not only a 41% change in commercials net positions, but this of course based on a 52-week look back period, but we also have an all-time COT Extreme situation happening in commercials positions, also in large speculators. So quite interesting. So let's get to it. Here you can see the 41% change. Now, if you look at this time frame, this is 1 year of data. You can see that this recent change in traders' positions was extremely large. It is a very significant bearish COT change signal. Now, we did see a pullback from this rally starting Wednesday. So that signal may be a little bit late for us to act upon. But if we shift our attention to the extreme analysis, which of course can be easily done on this 5-year chart, you can see that not only do we have a bearish COT change signal, but the extreme analysis is pretty bearish as well. Now, I should point out, for especially those of you who are just starting analyzing commitments of traders report, is you not only have to understand the market specifics, but I'd recommend you to always have a look at the sector. So in this case, metals, of course, because they do tend to correlate with each other. So I'd be more comfortable taking a signal on a specific market if all the other markets' commitments of traders data is pointing in the same direction, right? So these all-time COT extremes, although look exceptionally exciting, they actually could be in the market for many, many weeks or even months before we see a reaction, which in this case we would expect some sort of decline happening in platinum. Okay, that's basically it. If we do get a pullback in the market, of course we'd be witnessing some ease in the stresses that have built up in traders' positions. Okay, the next market will be the Swiss franc. You can see this energy complex, something special for our subscribers. We basically take these markets within a sector and combine their COT data to come up with a sector COT data, and that's what you can see in these complexes. But Swiss franc, here we have, and of course, let's jump to the 1 year chart. We have a bullish 34% change signal coming from commercials, of course. You can see the magnitude of that change being greater than average, but we have seen similar, even larger changes in the past. You can see this largest bullish COT change signal was actually an effective one after 2 weeks of decline. You can see it kind of halted this mentality and pushed the market higher. So and now we see a bit of a decline going on for some time now, and now we have that larger than average bullish COT change signal. This actually is coming at a point in time when I believe there is, especially if you look at it technically, we have a support level, and then we have this bullish change signal. Maybe not a bad idea to act upon. Now, moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see, of course, let's start with commercials. We are still a bit closer to bullish extremes, right? If you look at it on the 5 years time horizon, we had this period since July of 2021 when we were in this bullish extreme zone without any major effect on the market, right? You can see that as well. This signal from November 2021, you can see, was actually a buying opportunity, signaling that bottom in the market over there. So again, of course, we had that bullish change signal we talked about on the 1 year chart. It's visible here as well, pushing Swiss franc higher. But we also had an extreme situation as well. Right now, I'm not really that excited about the extreme side of things. It's really the change that I believe can push the market a bit higher. But then again, of course, if you look at correlations with other currencies and the dollar index, you may get a little bit more insight on what's happening. Metals complex, the same thing I explained with the energy complex. Sugar is the next market with a 28% change. This time we are talking about a bearish COT change signal, much greater than average, suggesting some weakness in the next couple of days. The 5 years chart, you can see we are getting closer to bearish COT extreme levels. So if this rally continues and the stresses are building up, we should be expecting a major turn in the trend. Moving on to large speculators, COT Extreme. Of course, we talked about platinum, energy complex. We're going to jump over that. Feeder cattle is the next market. Here we have 131 report extreme, which of course corresponds to roughly a bit over 2 years since traders, large speculators, were at these extreme levels. You got to go back to 2019. And that was actually a buying opportunity. You can see pushed the market a bit higher. Again, this is more of a bullish COT extreme situation, suggesting some strength happening in feeder cattle in the next couple of weeks ahead of us. Gold will be the next market, 104 report extreme over there. So you can see as gold is gaining momentum and strengthening, we are not surprised to see stresses being built up in the market. I should point out, again, these stress levels, especially if you look at historically, let's say 15 years chart, you can see that the extremes are always becoming larger and larger. So if we'd reach an all-time extreme, I'd probably be expecting that to be going on for, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 weeks before we reach that top. But when we do, you can see, even here in August of 2019, that major bearish extreme did not necessarily collapse the market. It did kind of halted the pace of the rally, right? You can see that. So, you gotta see and analyze and understand that sometimes in COT analysis, a bullish extreme may actually be more significant in a market in certain macro conditions than a bearish extreme. So I'd be cautious with any sudden conclusion with a bearish COT extreme in metals. It doesn't mean we can't see and expect a bit of a pullback in the market. Yeah, for sure. But I don't think one should expect a major shift in the trend. Euro will be the next market and last one for this review. Of course, jumping back to the 5 years chart, here we go. You can see that here we have more of a bearish COT extreme, which is interesting to see and witness at these price levels. So you can see there is some weakness in the euro, but we're not seeing any correspondence in traders' positioning. So we are witnessing a bearish COT extreme, suggesting further weakness in the euro. Now, of course, this was only 6 markets for the review, but here at COTbase.com, we offer a much wider variety of markets to analyze. We only show a few market categories for these reviews, but if you become a subscriber, you can definitely get access to that. And of course, the newest COT report types and other data types with all the tools that we offer, so you can really deeply understand what traders are doing. And if you're interested in a specific market, we're talking about the euro just now, so let's open euro. You can actually dig really deep into the data. Anything that you might be interested in, commercials long, let's say, you can do that. No problem at all. You can actually chart this data if you wanted to, all the different the data type, futures and options only data. Everything is available for you here at COTbase.com. Now, we also have some very useful indicators, the COTbase Pro, which is basically everything you see on this website and service. But you do get access to our indicator that can be used in NinjaTrader, so you can do your own settings and all that. And maybe it's a more comfortable way of analyzing it. We also have the ICOT intraday indicator, which is a wonderful tool for those who are interested in a more shorter time frame analysis, right? It is not data from CFTC. I should point that out. It is our own indicator that we developed after many years of work and analysis to come up with an indicator that mimics the analysis techniques that we use in traditional COT analysis. But here you can see this is gold on a 1 minute candlestick chart, and you can still get interesting conclusions by analyzing this data, and of course these scores and signals. So very, very useful tool. I hope you will give it a try. And I appreciate your attention. Thank you very much for being with me. And I hope to see you in my next COT review. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Goodbye.